Greetings everyone, I'm Sanya Bhattacharjee, and today in the studio we have with us a multi-award winning professional with an experience of 20 years in the media industry. She's the first communication director at WhatsApp India. We have with us Ms. Vidisha Chatterjee. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us here today, and we are so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much, Sanya, for having me. Pleasure's mine.
So, ma'am, we have a few questions we have to
Sure.
ask you, and so we would want you to share your personal insights with us. So, my first question would be, can you please share your journey as the communication director at WhatsApp India?
Yeah, I was the first communications director for WhatsApp in India, and my journey was for 3 years. And I cannot tell you how happy and proud I am of what my team and I and all my colleagues together we were able to achieve in terms of WhatsApp India storytelling. For a brand which was so challenged in terms of its reputation, where people were not very sure about the safety and security that the app presented to them, and yet used by over 600 million people across the country. It was really something of essence to reassure the users
course.
about the safety and security of the brand, the privacy of the brand, and at the same time, how WhatsApp is really a force of good, how it is an engine of innovation and entrepreneurship, and how it can build custom solutions where no one else, which perhaps no other app is as versatile as a WhatsApp.
Of course.
And so, these are all important stories. If we do not tell them, that's a disservice to the brand. That's a disservice to the users.
Right.
And therefore, I think it just became, our honest endeavor
Yeah,
to tell stories every day.
of course.
And yeah.
That's definitely right, ma'am. I agree with you. My next question would be, how does one stay updated with the latest trends and practices that happen in communication?
You should tell me, you are from this generation which is a digital native. But I'll tell you from my experience. I think reading, there is no
Yeah,
substitute to
definitely.
reading. There is no substitute to, staying updated with the news. There are so many changes which are happening in the geopolitics of the world. There are macroeconomic headwinds and how they impact India, how they impact the businesses and the sectors that we are in. I think these are all very, very important if you want to stay relevant, up to date. What are the kind of innovations that are happening?
Definitely.
I think it's very essential to have a wide range of interests, and within that to focus on the things that you really should not miss.
Definitely.
So yeah, read all kinds, read international
Particularly
media,
reading of the newspaper or like the news in general?
the news in general,
Okay.
international as well as domestic. Follow some of the important podcasts,
Right.
and because media is so ramified now,
Yeah.
you have to also keep a finger on the pulse of where it is headed, what is really
Right.
working well. Most of the global events. So, for example, right now COP28 is going to
Yes.
happen.
Yeah.
So, I think there should be a genuine interest in following what is really happening with the worlds that we are all
Of
existing
course.
in.
In order to grow in that particular area.
Grow, and also to know, even if you're doing marketing for a particular brand,
Yeah,
not
definitely.
knowing about climate change or climate control is
Yeah.
not going to serve you in the long run.
The job's not going to be done like in.
See, if we might as well be aware
Yeah.
citizens and stay relevant to the times that we
Definitely.
live in.
Yeah.
And so for that, I
Reading
think
of news is important.
absolutely.
And I feel in our generation reading has gone really drastically.
I'm not too sure, and I do not have any statistics to back that. But I think because of this, the smartphone which is in our pockets, one is forever engaged with it.
Yes.
May or may not be reading, but I'm not sure that one can really escape also what is
Yeah.
happening around the world, because it's all here.
Yeah, social media uh, gets us the news.
Absolutely.
My next question is: in the face of reputation crisis, proactive communication is crucial, and WhatsApp particularly has had its fair share of reputation crisis in the past. So how you particularly did employ the particular strategies to?
Very interesting question, Sanya. I'll tell you something. When there is a wave of crisis that is riding, there is no way that you can interject with a positive story.
Okay.
You have to wait for the wave of that crisis to ride out.
Okay.
You can remedy it by offering your point of view, by clarifying the truth, by clarifying the nuances that may have been unseen or may have been missed by the people who are actually creating that story. But in the battle, in the heat of the moment, getting in there with a positive story or trying to build a brand, that is not possible. At least from my experience, this is what I have learned.
Right.
What you can definitely do is have an overarching, purposeful, communication strategy.
Okay.
Link it very closely with your business strategy, because end of the day, the purpose of communication is also to support the business
Right. Definitely.
and to help it grow. Because if there is no business,
No.
what else is communication going to do really? So be very very deeply aligned with the business strategies, so that you can tell those stories. And end of the day, it's the end consumer. How are you bringing value? Whatever is your target market, whether it is the SMEs, whether it is the users, whether it is the policy elites, whoever is your target market for whichever piece of communication, you need to be totally cognizant of the fact they are receiving value through your service.
Okay.
If you are focused on communicating that, it may just be a matter of time when you will be able to build goodwill, equity, trust on your brand. But you have to be at it in a structured, strategic, and a very, very disciplined way.
Right.
You have to do it rigorously.
Definitely. Also, were there any campaigns or strategies that you were a part of, and you are incredibly proud of being being under your tenure? Any other organization, be it any organization that you were a part of?
I can tell you that Colgate's Keep India Smiling was a huge equity campaign that we ran over a sustained period of time for over 3 to 4 years, which I'm immensely proud of what my team and I were able to achieve along with my colleagues. Likewise, transforming the reputation of a brand like WhatsApp, which had so much of trust deficit legacy, that was something which was such a huge challenge. But I think hats off to all my colleagues and to the team. We were able to do it one story at a time.
Definitely.
So yeah, very, very happy, proud. There have been many campaigns, but I think these two really stand out.
Yeah, in fact, Colgate Keep Smiling campaign is with us, and I actually started using Colgate earlier. I also was using, but after that, I was really inclined because of the campaign.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
So that was my personal experience with the
Wonderful.
campaign. My next question would be, apart from excelling in the media industry, you have also been committed towards mentoring non-profits and empowering underprivileged children, and also, for that matter, the children who are differently abled. So could you shed some light on that?
So I work with 2 NGOs as their advisor. One is dedicated to capacity building and sensitization for people with disabilities. I feel like disability is not a problem that we should be blindsided to. Differently abled people are everywhere, but we willfully choose not to see them. And I think that's not going to do the society good in the long term. We should acknowledge that they have special challenges, and the rest of the society as a whole should be more than cognizant to ensure that they are part of the mainstream.
Definitely.
Because I'll just tell you a business case for that. Globally, the disabled community contributes, I don't know how many trillion US dollars to the world economy. Just imagine when we are not taking them along with us.
Yeah.
It is a disservice not just to them but also to the rest of
course.
the society. So I think, and these are home truths, we cannot shut our eyes to that
No.
and feign that they don't exist. They may not exist in our immediate family or,
Yeah.
with people who we are affected by. But I definitely think if there is any way, and if you call yourself able-bodied, able-minded,
Yeah.
then if there is any way in which we can ease it, provide them with opportunities,
Do our bit for them.
do
Right.
do whatever we can,
Yeah.
and it's not to elevate to any greatness. I just feel that we are unnecessarily not looking at something which is all around us.
Exactly.
We should take notice of that and we should work hand in hand with them.
Yeah.
We should work shoulder to shoulder with them. The other NGO I work with is dedicated to educating children through storytelling.
Okay.
And these are underprivileged children, mostly street children. And during COVID, street children particularly had a really bad experience. People who
Yes.
live on the streets had a very horrifying experience the world over, but particularly in India. And so, whatever I can do to help them educate,
Definitely.
I do that.
Yeah. Ma'am, what I feel is that, apart from sympathy, empathy is also required in sense of.
Yeah, see, the fact that we are born in places where we have received the opportunities, I feel that is a huge, how should I say, tyranny of meritocracy, as the philosopher Sandler, I think, he says. So, just because they do not have that privilege, there is no reason why they should be denied opportunities towards learning and grooming themselves.
Definitely.
And making something worthwhile. We should not let them just depend on the cards that they were dealt.
Definitely. And last but not the least, ma'am, as we all know, you're a self-made entrepreneur and you've been in the industry for the past 20 years. So what will be the few words of advice you would like to give to the budding entrepreneurs and the people who wish to be in the media industry like me?
So, Sanya, I'm not an entrepreneur, but I have an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yes.
I did run a business which was in the business of advertising sales on Doordarshan, which was extremely successful. That was many years back, but I think I carried that mindset to anything and everything that I have approached. What I would like to tell entrepreneurs, and I do often interact with entrepreneurs. Recently, I was in Coimbatore, and I met with over 300 entrepreneurs there. But I would like to, talk more and more about how organizations, big or small, should be cognizant about building brand reputations proactively. Because, surprisingly, even for listed companies, while they provision for all kinds of risks, even government and policy risk and whatever have you, a lot of people do not really provision for the reputation risk. And at this age, in this age of information, I'm not sure you can take that chance.
Definitely.
So I think they need to be very cognizant and proactively work towards. It's good if your brand is not under fire, if you're not battling crisis. Proactively you should go and you should be thinking positively about building a positive brand image for your organization. It will definitely stand you in good stead.
Definitely. Thank you so much, ma'am. There were
My
great
pleasure.
insights.
My pleasure.
I honestly loved this podcast. Because
So did I. Loved interacting with you and everybody in the team who helped. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And we are really happy to have you here. And thank you so much.
Thanks.